It must be a Friday because it is key matchup time.
This is my favorite segment of the week.
I love this segment.
It's my favorite
one.
one.
It's a good segment because we get to go X's and O's. And two, it's Friday.
Yeah.
So
it's a good thing.
One of the best segments of the Fox Sparrow Report. It is key matchups. I'm Alex Barth. He's Evan Lazar. This segment is brought to you by our friends at 1 in 100. If you're looking for cheap concert tickets, game tickets, if you're trying to get into that building over there on Sunday night to see the Patriots and the Chiefs, you can do so all for the price of a slice of pizza or an ice cold beer. Just check out 1in100.co. Again, that's 1in100.co to get your tickets. Evan, we're looking at the matchups this week. You all at home hopefully know how this goes at this point. We've talked a lot about Mahomes. We've talked a lot about Gronkowski, the big names. Give me a one-on-one battle you're looking at on Sunday that the common fan might be overlooking.
All right, well, it's kind of a big name, right? Julian Edelman on the Patriots side of the ball.
I should say, yes,
Slightly
okay,
big
fair.
name, right? But Kendall Fuller on the Kansas
There's
City
the
side
name.
of the
There's
ball.
the name.
All right,
Yep.
a slot corner that came over in that trade for Alex Smith in a third-round pick. They got Kendall Fuller, who was kind of under the radar in that move because Alex Smith was kind of the blockbuster name in that trade. But Kendall Fuller has led the league in each of the last 2 years and covered snaps in the slot. He's going to be matched up against Julian Edelman, I would say, for 90% of this game. I would assume it's a shadow type situation where Kendall Fuller is going to follow Julian Edelman around. I asked Julian Edelman about Kendall Fuller yesterday. He said he's a good player, instinctive, good in and out of his breaks, mentioned his physicality, and also said that he might have a few little tricks up his sleeve for the matchup because he knows that he's going to be going up against a guy that specializes on slowing down slot receivers.
Well, let me ask you this. Could one of those tricks potentially be, we've seen the Patriots do this from time to time to create the matchup, you think Edelman gets moved outside at all?
Maybe. You could see him move outside. You could see him, I think, a little bit of some stacked or bunch sets to kind of get him some leverage right off the snap and get him away from Kendall Fuller, some picks, rub routes, all that good stuff that the Patriots like to do. But I think this is really one of those matchups that you kind of have to go down the line because there's so many big-time matchups, you know, Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady versus the KC defense and all these other big names, Kelsey and Gronk. But this one, I think, is going to be a big-time, decider of can the Patriots move the ball on third down. You know, Julian Edelman's so often the guy that Tom Brady goes to on third down. Kendall Fuller, I guarantee you, is going to be matched up in those situations.
All right, I'm going to take a page out of your playbook. I'm going to go in the trenches. And let's see, I was practicing this all before the segment. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif.
There you go.
Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, MD, the Chiefs' usual starting tackle. He is out for this game. So starting on that offensive line, see if you remember this name. Jordan Devey spent the beginning of his career in New England, was not necessarily a favorite of fans around here to watch. Certainly had his struggles at times.
One of the most bizarre Week 1 starters of the Belichick era, that's for sure.
And I think whoever it is along the defensive line, whether it's Trey Flowers if he kicks inside or Lawrence Guy, two players that have had fantastic seasons, those guys have a chance to eat Devy alive based on the kind of player he is, and I think the Patriots need to exploit that matchup because we've talked about it all week. When it comes to dealing with Patrick Mahomes, you've got to put pressure on him, you've got to hit him, you've got to get him off of his spot, force him to get the ball out quick. And that may be the door in. If you look at the offensive line, right, and I've heard coaches describe it to me this way, doors 1 through 5, what's going to be the path of least resistance? What's going to be the easiest door to get through? I think it's going to be Devy this week. Look for the Patriots to attack that spot with whoever they choose to line up across him. And probably it's going to be a cycle of players to not let him get a rhythm. But I'm really looking at them to attack off the right side and try to go in that spot to get their pressure on Patrick Mahomes. And if they can, I think the defense will actually have a lot of success this week.
Yes, I think it's one spot where you're in the fourth quarter, it's a tie game, 38-38, because it's going to be a shootout, and you need one defensive play. You need a sack, you need a strip sack, you need some pressure to force an incompletion or an interception. Maybe they kick Trey Flowers inside on Jordan Devey. They save that move kind of for the later in the game as kind of that trump card that they've been waiting to play, and they play it at the most opportune time. And I hate to say this, but kind of like what they did with Brandon Graham in the Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Or you could even say with, not Devonta Freeman, Tevin Coleman?
Which,
why am I blanking? Against Atlanta, where they brought Hightower off the edge.
Against Devonta Freeman.
Against Devonta Freeman, thank you very much. Maybe it's Hightower coming up the middle. Who knows?
Know.
But keep an eye on the interior, and of course, Edelman, all eyes will be on him. Are there any matchups that we missed? Let us know in the comments down below.
A lot of them.
Or on Twitter. I think there's a good amount. I'm curious what the people have to say. You guys probably have some good ones, so let us hear them. We'll chime in the ones we like, the ones we don't. Again, below in the comments or on Twitter at Patriots CLNS. This has been the Key Matchups edition of the Fox Sparrow Report. From Fox Sparrow, he's Evan Lazar. I'm Alex Barth for CLNS.